Hello, I'm Dave Peach, and this is the Crawfordsville Peachcast, sponsored by Tri-County Bank, your community bank since 1892. See them in person or at tricountybank.net. Tri-County Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender. Crawfordsville Peachcast, I'm Dave Peach. We are joined by Dave Meyer. Dave, how are you?
Dave, I'm excited to be back on the Peachcast doing some more Untoasted.
We've got a great movie. Oh, I'm sorry, not a great movie. It's let's put it this way. It's a movie.
It is a movie that was made and people spent money on it and spent money to go see it.
Oh my, it's Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, and we'll go over this movie because we watched it and we have to. And it's presented by Tri-County Bank, your community bank since 1892, and Central Indiana Rubber Products. And we always say hello.
Hello,
Todd. Thank you, Todd. We appreciate you sponsoring the Peachcast, enjoying the Peachcast. We have talked a lot about AM radio, and on the cover of Radio Inc., fighting for AM, WABC owner John, and I'm going to let you pronounce his name. John, are you ready, Dave? You know,
I'm ready.
You know how I love to spell names and look at names and all that. Here we go. CATSIMATIDIS.
Let's go through it one more time, Dave.
CATSIMATIDIS.
Wow.
As a public address announcer, if John
if
John was in the starting lineup, I would definitely go over his pronunciation with the SID. I would probably be about a 38-second conversation. But what do you got, Dave?
I think I'd go with the SID conversation as the that's your closer, but Katsimatidis.
See, there's one more syllable. You know, it's like it's got so many syllables. I mean, if it was one less syllable, like it was Katsimatis, if it's John Katsimatis, that would be. But there's another one there, so it's Katsimatidis.
Katsimatidis.
That is a tough. That may be one of the toughest.
Dave.
That is maybe one of the toughest public address names I've seen. I mean some of the ones that are hard are really easy. Once you can break them down. But this one just. But anyway, he is the WABC owner, fighting for AM. We've got the vote coming up in the fall. Another big article on AM radio in Radio Inc., and it is in addition to the rather long article on WABC's John Katz. When he ran for mayor, he put John Katz, CATS, and then the IMATIDIS. And he's got a big article there and a lot of great pictures. And so the fight for AM keeps going, and we will find out what happens in the fall when the Senate votes on that. So that's the latest on AM radio. It continues to be in the forefront of media news.
Absolutely. Dave, I'm looking at a picture of John right now. He's an older man.
He is an older man, and certainly owns a radio station called WABC. So I'm going to say
he's doing okay.
Made it. He's definitely made it in the world. And you think about the folks that walked in those WABC doors over the years. Certainly, and he's worked in New York City, which is a place that I visited for a day and a half. So I'm just going to give him all the props that I can.
Okay. Well, he's fighting the good fight for the AM radio dial to keep communication and art, commerce, all of it alive on the AM dial, Dave. It's still going. And today, what?
Oh, well, we do have an AM sighting in the movie, so it's coming up. But again,
Yeah.
we're gonna keep AM on those dashboards, and kind of switching gears real quick, Dave. One thing, and I hate to brag on myself here at the radio station, but you buy the box of snacks that come from Lay's, right? The box of,
Yeah.
and they have let's just a normal box. It has like Fritos. It has like Doritos for the nacho cheese, Doritos, blue cheese, or what do they call it? Blue Ranch. What do they call it? Cool
Right.
Ranch.
Yeah.
Cool Ranch.
Cool Ranch.
Then they have like barbecue chips. They'll
Right.
have
And you got your regular Lay's, maybe.
you got regular Lay's, and then you've got Cheetos, like the crunchy Cheetos. And for some reason, nobody ever eats the Cheetos.
Texture.
They
Cheetos they're a tougher crunch.
I don't understand that. So because I'm a team player, and because I like to do things that help the staff here and keep morale high, I eat the Cheetos first.
You take the Cheetos for the team.
I do.
That's amazing.
And I tell you what, the Fritos go first. People love Fritos.
Yeah, something about Fritos too. You can just kind of keep going on them.
And I think people really enjoy. I like the chili cheese and the barbecue. Either one.
Yeah. I guess the walking taco was invented for those Cheetos, right?
And then they've got those curly ones, the honey Fritos or whatever they call those, with the little curly Q things. Those are phenomenal.
Yeah. No, there's the snack game is on it these days, Dave.
And I'm getting hungry talking about it. And another one, real quick, as we move another subject, Dave, I know that you've been with big timers over the years, working with highly trained actors and voice artists and whatever you want to call them. Have you ever had where they have like a spread where they have like food sitting around as people are working?
Yes, it's a luxuriously uncomfortable thing. Yes, the big spread of food. It's sometimes I'm amazed at how much people can eat during the day if it's free.
So they do eat the food. It's not like they tear into it.
It varies. It kind of depends on who gets invited, really. It's the folks that don't normally, if they're not there as far as clients, those are the folks that tear into it. But yeah, lots of big spreads of food and drink. After working with Pat Riley, it was one of the things he says, they got a beer.
See, when I'm working though, I don't know, and maybe it's different in some environments, but I've kind of got my routine, I've kind of got my food plan, and I would be more, I guess though, if the food was still available after the event, maybe then I'd go to it.
Honestly, I very rarely, if ever, eat when I'm on a shoot like that. First of all, it feels weird, looks weird. Afterward, I'll take then I'm like, I'm taking 7 cookies home, so it's not good.
Take
I miss the soup, I miss the salad, but I'm gonna leave with as many calories as I can get in my bag.
Sounds like a plan. And again, we hope that you have plenty of snacks as you're listening to AM radio. And we will talk about a movie. It is Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, 1988. Yep, we got to talk about it. It's next on the Crawfordsville Peach Cast.
Dreaming about your next vacation? Maybe about a major family event, or maybe something very unexciting, such as home repairs. This is Chuck Dixon, President and CEO of Tri-County Bank. Stop dreaming and come to Tri-County Bank to apply for our Dream Green home equity line of credit. In days, your dreams can become your reality. Tri-County Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Part of me wants to go, giddy up, boom, pop, boom.
That's right. Elvira. Okay. Crawfordsville Peach Cast. It is Untoasted. It's a movie from 1988. It's Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. I'm gonna start with the lead here. Elvira, I believe, I don't even know who won, but she was up for Worst Actress in a Movie in 1988 with Liza Minnelli in Arthur 2 on the Rocks.
Yeah, that's some. She was nominated it's a Saturn Award. I don't know what that is, and the Razzie in 1989. She went on. Yeah, this movie had a sequel.
Wow, that's unfortunate. I hate to really lay into this movie, but it starred Elvira, Cassandra Peterson, who was 37 years old when the movie was released. Her love interest, and I do have some things that may be worthy here, was Daniel Green. He was born in 1960, a big guy. And if you look at his bio, he starred with Elvira in this movie, right?
Yeah, a big guy,
Okay.
good-looking guy.
Yeah.
But Dave, I don't remember seeing him again.
Well, now, so you look at his bio, and and Dave, we confirm that he was in a major motion picture release as the love interest of Elvira, right?
That's what we just sat through.
Okay, so you go to his bio. They say he's best known for his role as Dwayne Cooley in the TV series Falcon Crest.
Okay, well, I guess I don't know. I missed those Falcon Crest years. I think I was
that won out over being in the major motion picture with Elvira. And I think that says a lot about this movie.
Yeah, that does. Because, Falcon Crest is kind of the petticoat junction of its genre,
yeah.
right? Below Beverly Hillbillies, below Green Acres. And, Falcon Crest, definitely, miles below Dallas. Thousands of yards below Dynasty.
Yes.
Right? We had,
it was.
What?
Well, I remember when I heard when Falcon Crest was on, and I watched it. My wife loved the primetime soap operas, and I remember hearing Earl Hamner, the guy from the Waltons, was he wrote like Falcon Crest, and somebody asked about it, and he goes, "Yes, that's still on." Remarkably, it's remarkable. It's still on.
Yes, it's still on.
Okay, back to Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. So you can search Daniel Green and see him for his well-known role as Dwayne Cooley in Falcon Crest, which I may recommend over seeing him in Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. But we move on. She's goth. I didn't even know she was, at the time in 1988, I didn't know what goth was, but she is goth, considered that.
Yeah. I just, she kind of showed up and it was like, what is she from? Because it was clear that this character was baked somewhere else, but just seemed to be everywhere in terms of just like advertising is what I remember.
Yeah, I think she was she started out as a movie host. I always looked at her kind of like the new Sammy Terry.
Yeah, she was, yes, a voluptuous Sammy Terry for the teenage boy.
And so, but I can't remember, maybe she had a syndicated show and that got her some national publicity. And she was the star of Elvira, Mistress of the Dark again. Cassandra Peterson. Peterson is her name. I'm sorry about my voice, but I'll blame it on allergies. But I will say, Dave, within 8 minutes, we set the goal to raise. How much money do you think in the 70s and 80s they need to raise to save the show? What figure would you think about?
Dave, it's the magic number. We have the magic number. And that, folks, is 50 grand.
50,000.
You get 50 grand.
Again.
You can, that's what they'll give you to buy a house, change your future, or put on the Vegas show.
That is it. $50,000. So she's a movie host. She's going to have a Vegas show, but the Vegas show is not going to happen unless she raises $50,000. So we got to get the $50,000. We see as she's heading out, we see an AM radio dial. Thank you very much. She's on a cross country journey.
Yes, she's on a cross country journey. That and that's what I feel about this movie. It's almost like, okay, next scene, different gag.
And
next scene.
She does run into Matthew Perry on the way. No, I'm just kidding. No, not quite. Not.
Well, I mean, the whole thing. Okay, her aunt that she doesn't know about dies. She goes to Falwell, Massachusetts, and
I don't think it's any surprise they named it Falwell, Massachusetts. Yeah.
They were on it. Now, one of the things I did notice, Dave, is that she sleeps in a Tom Jones T-shirt. So,
well, Dave, that's not unusual.
Oh,
we got to make our own jokes here. But
Jeff Conaway, former Taxi star, who had by that time had a very public substance abuse battle that he clearly was not winning at this point.
He was in Grease too.
Yeah, Grease. These were probably the highlights of that period for Jeff. But that's a bad role, and he obviously, of the two flunkies, he's the more important one. So
I forgot about the flunkies during the movie. Credit that I did notice. If you can't afford Sally, then get Susan Kellerman.
How about that? I think subconsciously when I saw the name, I thought Sally, and then when I'm like, that's not Sally Kellerman. Yeah, no,
Susan.
It was Susan, Dave, and we had almost a Price is Right dream sequence in this at one point.
So do us your usual background, why this movie was made, the cast members and all that. Give us that, because we got to do it.
I'll give you a little bit here, Dave, of what I can. As we were talking about, Elvira's getting famous, and basically they pitched to Brandon Tartikoff, who was the president of NBC, about basically doing some kind of a sitcom, and he liked that and basically gave that to go ahead. But Elvira, or in this Sandra Peterson, wanted to do a movie. So basically the plan was NBC's going to produce the film, and then if there's sequels or if they do a TV series, then they're all going to own it. So basically Sandra Peterson had been part of the Groundlings, which is like people hear about Second City in Chicago and things like that. The Groundlings was a fairly famous Pee Wee Herman came out of the Groundlings. I think, fast forward a few years, Will Ferrell, Kristen Wiig, other people. But at the time, Cassandra Peterson, because she had been to the Groundlings and connected to Pee Wee Herman, this was right after Pee Wee's Big Adventure, which was a fun movie and did do well. So she was wanting to get the director of that movie, which was Tim Burton, to do this movie. Clearly, Dave, Tim Burton didn't do this movie. Smart man.
No.
Smart man.
Run, don't walk.
Run, don't walk. The guy they picked was only had one feature to his credit.
Tom Burton? I'm just kidding there.
What was it say? James Signorelli was the director. And I just kind of think he did a very, I don't know. It's an obvious movie is what I would say.
Yeah. The will reading, I think we saw a will reading in the movie. Was it Demi Moore in One Crazy Summer? Was that that's kind of a common
It
thing.
is a common one. I think I've seen that in some old, like Kirk Douglas was an old mean grandpa, and a Michael J. Fox was a young one. Again, they read wills and things happen. There's one of the Wes Anderson movies. Same begins. So it's a common theme, right? You throw the will in, and then voila. What else? She goes bowling at one point, right?
Yep. And
that's when she
goes. I will say she does go to Falwell, Massachusetts, a reference to obviously Jerry Falwell, and there's some moral references They have kind of a moral club. They're Edie McClurg.
Right.
Edie
right.
McClurg? Is that her name? Edie McClurg?
Edie McClurg. Yes. Who, I think McClurg with a G on the end.
And she plays Chastity.
Chastity. And Dave, we all remember her from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, where she was the principal secretary. And Edie McClurg has some great lines in this movie, I would say, if there are any great lines. She, like, I'm trying to think of some of the things that happened. There's like if you enjoyed the movie Flashdance, there's a maniac scene, right? At one point, Elvira is tarred and feathered, I believe.
That was during the Flashdance scene.
That was during the Flashdance scene by Patty, who is the evil female that is against her. And then we have Elvira taking a bath and plotting her revenge.
Yeah, she receives a house in the will.
She got a house in the will. The kids helped her clean it up.
And a dog and a book.
Yes. A dog and a book. And the book contains magic in the form of recipes, right? And that's kind of that's the MacGuffin. That's the thing. So she's got an evil Uncle Vinny, and Uncle Vinny wants the recipe book, and then Uncle Vinny gets the power. I don't know. There's a ring involved. She has the ring, and then he gets the ring. There were some things happening there, Dave. At one point, she makes first of all, let's say at one point, there was like a Ghostbusters animal on the stove. No, it was when she made dinner, right?
Yeah, she made dinner. She made a recipe out of the book and the ingredients were right there. And then the monster came out.
Yeah. And the monster came out, and then they put the monster, eventually they killed the monster in the garbage disposal, I believe. And then, then her revenge is she cooks up another recipe, leaves it at the potluck. They all eat it, and it changes everyone. They become the opposite of themselves. They become enamored with each other.
Oh,
they become all warm and fuzzy toward each other, Dave.
Oh, boy.
I believe this is when
they sure do.
Yeah, Edie McClurg says, "Is this face taken?" Is one line, Dave.
Oh, my.
Edie McClurg. You
didn't hear that from me.
No, kids. That's not from the full timer. That's not from the no. But it's Edie McClurg, Dave.
Yeah.
Edie McClurg. Yeah. Okay, and the dog is involved, and there's a dog named Gonk at some point.
Yeah.
Gonk. Okay. Yeah. And they're gonna burn. Oh, there's a burn the witch chat in this at one point.
Yeah. At the end, I did notice was there a can of Slice in a shot?
I think there might have been.
Yeah,
Dave.
Yeah.
When did we lose Slice?
I'm not sure.
I mean, when did Slice come into our lives, and then when did it quietly go out?
It's probably an 80s thing. Slice.
Wow.
I think that's something we could look up on the internet.
Okay, folks, we might need some help with that one.
We'll come back. We'll try
history.
to answer that. We'll try to answer the Slice after the break.
And if there are any moral lessons that we can impart based on this, Dave.
Whew. Okay, well let's go through. I'll go through a few things that I did notice. You talked about the food that got everybody excited. Let's see. We go to the moralists who are going to burn her, burn the witch. A couple of I think they were brownies, not Girl Scouts. They were cooking marshmallows on the fire. That
was a nice touch.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
I get that. 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we incinerate? That made it there. I will say, going back when she pulled into the town, it did look a little like the movie set from The Wild One.
It could have been.
It could have been.
I mean, this was Universal. This is probably most of it was done on the back lot there, some of which folks, if you go to Universal in Burbank, you can take that tour yourself today.
Well, there's a Hallmark movie with her and the man best known for his role as Dwayne Cooley in the TV show Falcon Crest. They kiss. And there's some more movie after that. The Ring helps out. Bob rescues her. She battles the uncle. She wins, I think. Somehow Bob shows back up with a neck brace. I
didn't know what had happened there.
I didn't exactly know that. And, that happened in one crazy summer. That banker guy ended up in a neck brace. Yeah, so apparently if a movie's not doing well, they say, can you just wear a neck brace in the next scene? Maybe it'll distract people from actually paying attention to the movie. They go, well, how did he get a neck brace? Oh, yeah, in 5 minutes of movie. Okay, good. We're closer to the end. But there was my favorite line, and it was from Patty. And after it was all over, they come to an agreement, or they come to some sort of understanding that Elvira is actually a great person and they'd love her to be in the community. And I'm not exactly sure what happened there, but there was a complete change of heart from the community. And Patty said, sorry, I set you on fire and everything.
That is good. No, it does. It all just kind of is nice at the end. Everybody, well, first of all, it looks like it wasn't going to be, but the one old guy goes, you can stay anytime. And then everybody else kind of followed suit. Then we go, the big finish in this movie. And again, I think our audience was 14-year-old boys, is Elvira did get her Vegas show. And if you notice real quick on the billboard, Dave, it's Elvira with Shecky Green. Okay. Nice touch. But then we've got she does a big musical number, which was longer than most scenes, it felt like. And it's all about the tassels, really, which is, again, like taking us back to 1959 or something. Oh, my goodness. But that's the big finish of this movie. So,
as we talked at a previous podcast about announcers, and the announcer, you remember the announcer? Well, you do, Al McGuire.
Al McGuire.
I think at some point in the end scene, Al is yelling, "Holy mackerel! Holy mackerel! Holy mackerel!" But not because somebody hit a good shot.
No.
Because it's like this movie, just when you think it couldn't get any worse, it sinks to another low level.
Yeah. Yeah. There's, it's, I don't know, Harper Valley PTA. Go see that one. That one, they tried to do a little bit of that with this.
Yeah.
There's just not much about this unless you just discovered Elvira and you can't get enough. Well, then buckle in. But no, Dave, unless this is a part of some of your, municipal agreement that, you have to honor, I would not take the time.
But now
nor check out the sequel.
Yeah, I wouldn't. But I will say there were, I don't know how many lines, I guess they would call them double entendre. Is that how you say that?
Yeah, there's one where it's dark and you're wondering why she's like acting like she's saying Bob, and she's saying you're incredible, and the light comes on and she's holding a snake.
Yeah, that was
a rather large snake.
Thanks for sharing that, Dave. But what I was saying is this would give your morning show, if it's hot beer and cold wings, or Bob and Tom, or John and the Big Monster, or whatever. If they were taking notes, they would have enough material for 2 weeks. I mean, they could just roll these out periodically in their show, and they would have material for at least 10 episodes.
Yeah. No, it's gag after gag, same gag, different angle, different person.
Yeah.
And I guess if you love that gag, then this is a movie for you. But this is the voluptuous stranger comes to town and hijinks ensues, and it's a bad movie.
Elvira, Mistress of the Dark on Untoasted. We're back to wrap it up after this on the Crawfordsville Peach Cast.
Central Indiana Rubber Products, locally owned for over 40 years. Central Indiana Rubber Products is customer-focused and offers commercial custom hose, gaskets, belts, seals, and O-rings, among a variety of other products and services. Central Indiana Rubber Products is a dedicated supplier of banjo valve products, spill absorbents, hoses, gaskets, and belts. Central Indiana Rubber Products, 989 West 83 North in Crawfordsville, and at indianarubber.com.
Back here on the Crawfordsville Peach Cast, and we mentioned the drink Slice that we think was in Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, and Slice was launched in 1984. You can see a nice picture of the lemon lime version of Slice, but you remember the orange as well.
I remember the orange for some reason, but Slice was, it cut into that whatever it was market that 7-Up disappeared from, and Sprite's still ruling, I guess.
And by, let's see, taking a look here, by the late 2000s, what? The late 2000s, what would that be? The late 2000s, is that like 08, 09?
09.
Okay.
Yeah, 08, 09, I guess.
Say late 2000s to me would be like 2092, but no. But apparently that's when they phased it out.
Well, it had a good run, but I don't remember missing it. I guess that's probably the thing, is that nobody was dying. There weren't protests when they took it off the market. Probably because it wasn't selling well, Dave. But
no. Dave, this movie Elvira was from 1988, and if you go, and I know we're old guys, and we think our movies are the best of all time, but if you go from 1975 to 1990, look at the movies that you have to choose from. You've got Star Wars, you've got Raiders of the Lost Ark, you've got Raging Bull, you've got all the movies with the Brat Pack and the Breakfast Club and Pretty in Pink, and there's another one Back to the Future.
Yeah,
I mean,
Back to the Future.
Movie after movie, all the Tom Cruise movies. I mean, if you think, and you mentioned Ferris Bueller's Day Off, I mean, 75 to 90, those movies are still pretty well thought of. Many of them are still pretty well thought of today. They don't appear on this show, but it was a good time for movies.
It was a good time for movies. And, we didn't know it because it was just, movies were coming out at a pretty good clip, and it was a broad sampling. I mean, you had action movies, you had I think about movies like Silence of the Lambs, go and just scared and excited at the same time. A lot of those movies. And that was a great time period for both, a lot of independent movies started during that time. A lot of, kind of more smaller things started to get more recognition. So it's, of a great period for movies. And that's, why movies like this got made, because they were just making so many of them.
Yeah. I've got a question, Dave. The movie Rocky, I think it was from 1976. So it's in this era.
Yep.
Sly made it for about $1 million.
Wow.
Okay.
Yep.
How does a guy just making a movie get that soundtrack?
Yeah, no, that was, he, whatever you think of Sylvester Stallone, the biggest thing he did is he held out. They wanted his script, and he would not, basically they made it as impossible as they could for him to be in that movie. And, because they weren't going to finance it, because it wasn't going to be with a known. At that point, I think probably the biggest name in that movie was Burgess Meredith, right? When it came out.
Well, Tal Shire.
Yeah, Talia Shire, I guess. I mean, she had been in The Godfather, but she was, not a star, I guess, by that point. So that movie, that movie changed a lot. There had been movies like that throughout history, but it seemed, that was time period post Watergate. Jimmy Carter. It was before we hit the, some of the energy crisis and some of the yuckier parts of the late 70s there. When we get into, towards the 80s, I mean, I don't know about, I was going to movies on a fairly regular basis and they weren't costing too much. And that was a big part of my media diet. I mean, there were no streaming, no phones. Cable was more about ball games to me than anything else that I ever watched. So the movie theater was very much a part of a social life.
And you throw in Ghostbusters in that mix, all the Bill Murray, all the Bill Murray movies, John Belushi, his 3 movies are in that era. I mean, you could just go on and on and on.
Yeah.
Warren Beatty. We talked about
Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
All the Vietnam movies that were, pretty critically acclaimed. A lot of movies. And then obviously I'm trying to think, the Christopher Reeve Superman was late 70s as well.
Yeah, that was in that 75. Again, I'm going 75 to 90.
Yeah.
When you look at all the movies that were made and the franchises that endure today, and they're still making, Star Wars, Raiders, Ghostbusters, they're still looking back at that era and making movies.
It's amazing. One of the things I read not too long ago was there was in, I think it was like 1966 or 67. It was Desilu was after basically when Lucy was at the head. She and Desi had been divorced, but they had Desilu and they had ramped up. And her board of directors, everyone on her board voted against her financing 2 new programs. And the reason was they said these are going to be expensive and they won't be easy to produce and you don't want to make them. And she overrode them. And those 2 were Mission Impossible and Star Trek, which continue, as you say, today as franchises. So it's, it's obviously come far back around, but it's amazing sometimes the staying power of powerful storytelling, which is at the other end of movies from Elvira.
Yes.
Of the Dark.
and throw Star Trek movies in that 75 to 90 pocket.
Right. Because when did the first Star Trek movie come out? Like about that time, right?
Yeah, probably 79, 80.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yep. And then the 80s and the early, of the Star Trek movies, the one, I think that Nimoy, where they move the whale.
Yes.
Remember that one? That one was 4. My favorite. That was 4. Okay. Yeah. So that was probably near the, probably about 90, right?
No, I think it was 80.
Late 80s. We're going to have to look it up. He's looking it up, kids. He's looking it up. The Voyage Home, I believe, maybe. Or that's a movie. That's a movie title.
Star Trek 4. There was a Star Trek 4. Voyage Home. Help me out here. 86. Yeah,
All right.
A little bit off.
So again, a great run with a lot of movies, independence franchises. It was a booming time in the motion picture business, which is right now in the dark.
Yeah.
So we hope.
Yeah. With a few bright spots over the summer, but we'll see what happens later on. But Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, we will leave you with the words from Elvira, unpleasant dreams.
Ooh.
Well put.
Yeah, well put.
My thoughts exactly. David, thank you. I hate to leave it on a bad note. I mean, we gotta play the theme from Rocky or something to kind of pump people back up. But We'll be back. I've got a couple of movies in the works. One is a Tony Curtis movie, Johnny
Ooh.
Dark. Johnny
Oh.
Dark, and
Okay.
and then there was another Poseidon adventure. Return to.
Oh.
I got to look at. I think what was it? It was. I've got it written down here.
I think it's another or return to. You're right.
It
It's
is
one
beyond,
of those.
Beyond Poseidon Adventure. Beyond Poseidon
Okay.
Adventure. So study up.
There's a
on
Borg
those.
9,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Does
Well, I
Borg
will
9
study
come
up,
back?
Dave.
We'll find out, but that's coming up. David, always fun.
Yes, Dave. I look forward to it. And I will say, Dave, have a fabulous good morning, good night, or good afternoon.
Whenever you're listening to the Crawfordsville Peach Cast presented by Tri-County Bank, your community bank since 1892, and Central Indiana Rubber Products. Thanks for listening to the Crawfordsville Peach Cast, sponsored by Tri-County Bank, your community bank since 1892. Tri-County Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender. I'm Dave Peach. Join us every Thursday for a new episode on Apple or Spotify. Please like, subscribe, and download the Crawfordsville Peach Cast. This podcast was produced and edited by Up There Media and is a presentation of Fork Broadcasting Digital.